I'm glad you joined us to craft together today. I hope you're having a wonderful summer and reading lots. This video is the final part of a series on the Take and Make crafts, which can be picked up at the Dryden Southworth Library, the Tompkins County Public Library, and the Lansing Community Library. Today, we'll be working on making the infinite folds. Your supply envelope will look something like this. Inside, there are 4 different pieces of paper with different patterns on them. And there's also a glue stick. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take each of these squares and fold them in half, both directions. Half this way. Then what I like to do to fold into quarters is I like to put this, keep it folded in half, and then fold up to the seam that I've already made at the halfway. You can do it any way you like, but I find that this gives the most precision in the folds. So now we're going to do the exact same thing in the other direction. So I'm going to rotate this, and then I'm going to fold in half, and fold in half again. And there we go. So now if you flip it over, you can see there's all these lines, and these are going to be our guides for where we're going to put the glue, and it's also going to tell us, or help us figure out how we're going to put this together and how it folds. So we're going to do the same thing on all 4 of these pictures. Once we've finished folding these, we're going to need to kind of tear these in half, but we're going to make sure that everything is upright first. For example, the clover, that's upside down. Okay, so everything else is upright. 2 of these need to be in half horizontally, and the other 2 need to be in half vertically. So what we're going to do is I'll start with this one. I want this one to be horizontal. So you're just going to fold back and forth along this middle seam and crease it, use your nails here, until it's thoroughly creased and ready to come apart. I like to do this probably a bit more than I need to, but that makes sure that it's going to come apart on an even line. There we go. So now I'm just going to get it started, pull it apart, and there we go. That one's in half. Now, with the ones that need to be vertical, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to do it along the vertical fold instead. So again, I'll fold it in the middle, this time vertically, and then just fold it back and forth and crease it extra hard in between. You could use the scissors if you have a scissors at home, but I find this to be easier. And now I'm just going to go like this. There we go. Horizontals and 2 verticals. Now this is where things are going to get a little bit more tricky. So I'm actually going to use a pencil and shade in on the back the parts that we have to glue. Of course, if you don't like these pictures, you can always draw your own on the back, on the white side. But I'm going to use these pictures for now. So I've arranged my pictures so that I have horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. Now, with the first picture, what we're going to do is flip each over. And if you look at the back, it's not going to look right, but this is on purpose, and this is actually going to turn out well, I promise. So what you're going to do first is take your glue stick, and we're going to go on these outside corners, only the outside corners for now. And then we're going to take our next one, which is going to be the vertical, and set that so that it lines up with those outside corners. The tighter that your seams are, the tighter that your final project is going to line up. But, you know, sometimes glue dries pretty fast and it's still going to look good. There we go. So here's this one. And now I'm going to flip this out, like that. So it starts like this, and I'm going to flip it out all the way over. And now I'm going to glue each of the outside corners plus the inside. So I'm going to glue the 4 outside corners and the 2 large squares on the inside. And then I'm going to take my next one, which is horizontal, and set it on top. And it looks pretty straight. Now I'm going to take this and fold it outwards. So it's just like we did before. We're going to take this and fold it all the way down. So we're not folding on this line. Instead, we want to fold it around this line back here. And same deal with the top. So you should have 2 big squares and then 4 little squares on the top and bottom. And on this one, we just glue the whole thing. Kind of like a grand finale. There we go. And now I put on our final one, which is a vertical, like this. I'll try and get it straight. There we go. So now this should work. Let's try it out to be sure. It's still a little bit wet and sticky. Ooh, I was a little messy with my glue. Maybe I'll take a tissue to that. But now you should be able to fold it. There we go. Back and forth. First few times, you might need to just give it a little rearranging, especially if it's not fully dry yet, like mine isn't fully dry. And every time that you flip it, it should give you a new picture. There we go. So, if you have a moment of panic right now and you're saying, oh no, my pictures look like they're not right. They look like they got split and I put them in the wrong order, that's fine. That just means that you gotta flip your sheet over. And it'll be upright again. I hope you had fun making this infinite folding craft. Enjoy your crafts and feel free to share the video with your family and friends, and check out the other fun things to do in 4-H at sharethefair.org. Confucius once said, "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." When you stumble or fall, that's an accident, a mistake, some quirk of life that trips you. When you rise, that's strength, determination, and hope. Rising means that you're denying those obstacles, telling them that you are stronger and that you will follow your dreams. Learn from every time you fall because it means you have another chance to rise again. Have a wonderful summer and happy reading!